All right, so we're
Can
live
you hear
in
me?
pre-show. I can. Yes.
Good
Let's
deal.
see if we got a little mic check out there. I see Alan Bunt is here, Dave's here, Marie's here, TC Blaylock is here. TC's out there causing trouble, asking about is vMix ever going to be a Apple product? Not in your lifetime or mine, TC. Got Mike with me today. Mike's going to be the major guest. Well, the major guest. He's the only guest. So he's our very special guest today. So y'all say hello to Mike. Let's see, who else is here? I can't really see from this view. Mike is the one responsible for Panamation software. Chris is here. Yeah, in fact, Chris was very interested in the show today. He wanted to know specifically if you were going to be on live. And Nick Davidson is here. Hello, Nick. Nick and I crossed paths back in 2014. I did find that first email you sent me the other day, Nick. It was pretty neat. Yep, 2014. That's what, and he was the one that forced me to find vMix. Now, Mike doesn't have access to the chat, so when somebody has a question, Chris is saying, where have you been, Mike? And Alan is saying, howdy, Mike. And DJ Ware is saying, hi, Mike, Tom, and all. So now you're up to date. Oh, and Marie says, hi, Mike. So everybody wants to say hi to Mike. Nobody wants to say hi to me. Everybody wants to say hi to you. Must be nice.
Hey, everybody.
Yep. It's going to be a good show today, folks. So get something out of the fridge and put your feet up, and you might want to take some notes because it's going to be some good stuff on 3 or 4 different levels. Yeah. So, Mike, are you venturing across to IBC next month, or are you going to stay in the States?
I will be staying in the States. I've got family stuff come since I guess last time we talked. I've got a baby on the way.
Oh my goodness.
He's not due until December, but we're going to be heading down to Texas to visit family in November, and just kind of my dance card is full. So yep. I do love getting to Amsterdam for IBC, though. It's a great show, awesome opportunity to see, products as they develop. We always used IBC as a launch pad for products. Just there was a little bit less stress, I think, than the NAB show was. So always a great place to wheel out your new thoughts and new ideas. So and it's just a great town. So unfortunately, I won't be able to go this year. But anybody who's there, please go to the Leidseplein for me and have a duvel and partake in all the wonderful things that Amsterdam has to offer.
There we go. All right. Spoken like a true international. There you are. So let's see.
Yeah, it's a good time.
400 AGL is saying, welcome, Mike. And then a bunch of people felt guilty, so they're saying hi to me. So thank you very much. There's nothing like, being a little manipulative there. 400 AGL says, Tom, do you have any idea when vMix will have a version for Apple? A friend of mine is tired of wire cache. I've never heard Wirecast called wire cache before. That's really good. I'm going to steal that one. vMix will have a version for Apple when hell freezes over. So
Mm.
Martin's been real clear about that. No plans, not on the timeline, not on the drawing board, not spending one moment exchanging synapses on that one amongst themselves. No, it's not going to happen. Not going to happen. You can run vMix through Boot Camp on Wirecast, but I mean on Apple, but I wouldn't recommend it. I mean, what's so wrong with getting a Windows PC other than Windows? Um, you know, it
Nothing
is what
wrong
it
at all.
is.
Nothing wrong at all.
Yeah. Yes. Daniel Wright is here. Welcome. Troy is here. Neat. All right. Very good. We'll wire crash. Oh, that's even better. I love it. That's too funny.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And guys, Mike is on, he broke a cardinal rule of being a live streaming guest. He's on Wi-Fi. So at some point his audio may get a little jittery. It'll calm down. Not to worry. There we go.
Mm-hmm.
Daniel says that Hell, Michigan freezes over every year. Well, I don't think that's the hell that's going to take to freeze over to get vMix on a Windows operating system. I mean, a Mac operating system. Oh my gosh, that's funny. Too funny. Well, congratulations on the young one coming. Is this your first?
Thank you. Second. Yeah, my
Second.
first is 4.5. Yeah. And he's been along with us for the journey since I kind of took on this project, the Panamation and all that. And he's now in preschool and doing great. So he's looking forward to having a little brother, and it is going to be a little boy, and we're just super excited. So
that's awesome. That's awesome. Have you given this second one a name yet?
We have one in mind. We're thinking Luke, but
Luke.
we're not set in stone yet. Yeah, we like Jake and Luke. We think that kind of works good.
Yeah.
But we'll see. We actually waited to name Jake until after he was born, because we wanted to kind of get to know him before we named him. He's actually named after. He's actually named after the Jacob Nearing brake that you hear on semi trucks. That they call that a Jake brake.
Sure.
For all you truckers out there. He came out, and that was what he sounded like when he started crying when he first came out. So that's how he came up with Jake.
Oh, that's awesome. I mean, that's a story that he'll have his whole life. Oh, that's so cool. Very cool.
For better or for worse. Yeah.
That's right. That's right. Well, a big shout out to Jim and Joe DeMax who've joined us. Glad to have you guys here. And Joe
What's up, guys?
Joe is cleaning up any misunderstandings about why vMix won't work on Mac. Thank you, Joe. Appreciate that. Good to have him here. Troy says that he thinks Luke is an awesome name. I think you ought to consider Tom. Tom's got a lot going for it. It's short. It's easy to remember. It's fun to write.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I seem to be stuck on single syllable names myself. So,
there you
go. People ask if it's Jacob. I mean, it's not Jacob. It's just Jake. And
Jake.
We kind of feel the same way about Luke. It's not Lucas. It's Luke. So I don't know. We'll give him something to fight for anyway.
There you go. That's good. And it can't be shortened. Jake doesn't get any shorter. Luke doesn't get any shorter. Yeah.
Right.
That's neat. All right. Well, let's get going here because we're at 2:01. So I'm gonna put you on hold here, and with all this audio issue, I'm a little worried if I mute you, I might not get you back. So if I can
I'll just
get you
be
to
quiet.
Mute, okay, you just be quiet. And when you hear me talking about you, that's when you can sit up and pay attention. And, this is not the time to go to the John. Another short name. All right. So
I've got my catheter plugged in.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. There's a funny story about that, but not now. Okay, so let's go here, and we will. Let's see, what will we do? Oh, you know what? I think we can do this. Let's try this. Mike, I'm going to put you there for a second, and then I'm going to put you there. And now say something. Can I hear you? Nope, you're muted. Okay. And I've got a button right here I can turn you on because I programmed that one just a second ago. So we're good. All right. So let's get this show on the road, folks. Sit tight. It's going to be a good one. I guess it's going to be a good one. Who the heck really knows? We've got a button here to start the show. Here it is. Here we go. Welcome. I'm Tom Sinclair. This is Streaming Idiots, another totally underwhelming edition in the long-running series of underwhelming shows. No, delighted to have you with us this afternoon. Got a really cool guest. We were hanging out in pre-show just a minute ago, and so you're going to be very interested in what he has to say. But first, we have some news. What is our news? Our news is, I think we have a button for this news. Let's see. Do we have a button here? Yeah, there it is. There it is. That's supposed to be a bus, just by the way, in case you didn't get it. It's an audio bus. In fact, there are 5 audio buses. In fact, there are 5 stereo audio buses. And those 5 stereo audio buses are now part of, did you watch the show last night? vMix 23. That's right, vMix 23, which is going to be out. Well, it's not going to be out. It's going to be, you can look at it from a distance. If you go to IBC in 2 weeks, you can look at it from a distance and you can see vMix 23 and the 5 new audio buses. So instead of having just buses A and B, it's going to be A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Wow. So including the headphones and master, that's A, B, C, D, E, F, G, headphone master, that's 9. So that's 18 stereo channels that are available one way or another inside of vMix. Really big push through, and a big clap to Martin Sinclair, my long-lost cousin, for putting this together, because I know a lot of folks have badgered him for a long time to say, more audio buses, please, more audio buses. So get on the bus. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're glad to have you with us on this vMix 23 adventure. You can get a sneak peek at NAB in, what is it? It is in, no, it's not in that much time. Wrong button. Oh yeah, there it is. It's at IBC. And if you can see the little, right up there is number 7, the purple one at the top. See that little teeny gray one right below it? That's the hall that vMix is in. Not the big one above it, the little teeny one below it. See the red one? We're right above the red one. I'm going to be there. Come on out. It's going to be a lot of fun. And you can, oh my gosh, we hit the wrong button again. What button? There's too many buttons. There's too many buttons. Dan, there are too many buttons. This is the X Keys XK80, and it's got too darn many buttons on it. In fact, I've taken some of the buttons out and had that many buttons, but that doesn't help. I still end up pressing buttons. So the idea is, let's go back here. Nope, that's still not the right button. Let's go back there. There we go. The idea is that wherever you are at IBC, you got to end up in that little teeny gray box right up there, because that's where we're all going to be hanging out. And Martin's going to be there. Tim's going to be there. I'm going to be there. Martin K. from England's going to be there. I think Jens is going to be there. It's going to be a great time to come over and see the new vMix 23, get an idea of what's going on with that. The other thing that vMix 23 has got in it is SRT. Now, prior to last night, SRT was like 3 initials that I didn't care anything about. But now that vMix is getting SRT, it essentially, it's guaranteed delivery. It's like FedEx, it's like UPS guaranteed. Not every UPS or FedEx is guaranteed, by the way. I found that out the hard way. But secure, reliable transport is like guaranteed delivery with no dropped frames, no missing stuff. You know how sometimes you get video that does all that blotchiness, that blocks, pixel block stuff. Yeah, well, SRT gets rid of that. Now, there's a lot more to it behind the scenes. Yes, you got to have it on both sides, and it's typically just with high-end stuff. But if you have to use public internet that you don't have any control over, because once it leaves, you don't have any control over it. But if you have to use public internet, then you may at some point consider SRT as a way to positively guarantee that it will arrive on time. Yeah. Well, or at least it'll arrive all in one piece. So why doesn't that button make this little thing go away? Oh, because I hit the wrong button. Let's try that one. There we go. All right. The other thing that is in, let's see, yeah, there we go. And it's the vMix GT, the new title designer that everybody's having so much fun with because they can make things explode and spin and twist and do all sorts of stuff like that. Well, there is an improvement coming. Oh, I know what that is. An improvement coming to, I don't have it or I'd show it off. But basically, you can make a box or some sort of geometric shape in vMix Title Designer, GT Title Designer, and put a text box in it and hook the two together so that the box will expand if the text is larger. If the text is smaller, the box won't be quite so big. Pretty cool, pretty cool. There are going to be 1,000 uses for that, and I can think of one right now. If I had a lower third, yeah, maybe it would expand just to my name size. Other things, and I got to look at my list here because it just, I didn't commit it to memory. But there are some multi-quarter improvements, and the multi-quarter improvements are really kind of tied to the SRT thing. The difference is that the multi-quarter will record in a transport stream format, which you may have to convert over later, but the idea is that it's really going to be lightweight and easy to record, especially if you're doing up to 4 at the same time, and there'll be a definite performance boost with that. There also is a separate standalone piece of little helper software. It's like, I guess it's like Handbrake. Have you ever used Handbrake? But Martin has created the vMix Media Converter, and it will convert the proprietary vMix AVI, which you now get with as an option with the multi-quarter and with the regular recorder. It will convert that to MOV. So if you want to use the video editing tools that require MOV, now you'll be able to do that, and it will be crystal clear, absolutely, positively on track. Promised last night, but not dated as to when it's going to happen. It's kind of like, it's going to be off in the future. Some sort of unnamed improvements to vMix Replay. So we're really interested in that. vMix Replay has been around for a while, but it just seems like lately it's beginning to take the industry by storm. It's so common for vMix. They put a feature in, and then 2 years later, everybody discovers it when it's been there all along. And so now, in fact, we're just right in the middle of the vMix Replay class that we were offering from Eastern Shore Broadcasting. We've got our 4th class tonight, and if you want to join, you're too late, but we will have it available as video on demand later on. You can find out more information in the Eastern Shore Broadcasting store right down there. What else is news? Oh, a couple of shout-outs to Tyler Andrews. Tyler Andrews, our friend from POE, Texas, who is like the POE guru, coming up next week, next Tuesday at 11 o'clock in the morning, Central Time. So that's noon on the East Coast. His Converge POE show is going to have another POE guru coming on, and they're going to talk about the future of POE. And you really want to watch this stuff because it's going to amaze you and it's going to open up your mind in a whole new way without drugs or anything like that. The other show that you want to catch this coming Friday is John Mahoney's new show, the Streaming Alchemy Show. John is getting some great viewership. It's a very nicely done, very polished, well produced, unlike anything that you see on Wednesday afternoons. That's for sure. And that's Friday at 2 o'clock Eastern. And you can get those. You can find those on Facebook. It's the Streaming Alchemy Show. That's John's show on Friday, and then Tyler's show on next Tuesday is Converge POE, Tyler Andrews, POE, Texas. Last piece of news is that we're going to be offering our vMix 101 class again, starting October 8th. And starting, I think, like next week, there'll be an early bird sign up. And if you're on our email list, you'll get an email about that. If you're not on our email list, you want to go to our website, easternshorebroadcasting.com, and get on the email list so that you can get the notice about the early bird registration. It's a 6-week class. I'm teaching it myself. We'll teach it in the afternoon and in the evening on Tuesdays, every Tuesday for 6 weeks. Why do you teach it twice? Well, I want to make sure, number one, that people can get it live. Yeah, we're going to record it. You're going to get access to it as an on-demand. Basically, we just set up a secret Facebook group, and everybody in the class is in the group, and we put the videos from each class in the group. But the cool thing about live is you get the benefit of all the discussion, all the give and take, all the asking of questions, and you get to know the other people in your class because it's all live and we're all kind of together in the same virtual room. So it's going to really be cool. Last year, we had a cute couple from California that she couldn't take it at night. In the morning, in the afternoon, and he couldn't take it at night. So one of them came one time and one of them came the other time, and then they exchanged notes. And that was really, really cool. So we can work out those kind of things. So if you miss the afternoon show, you can always the afternoon class. You can always catch the evening class. So enough of that hooey. We got all the hooey out of the way. Now for the good stuff. All right, here we go. Way back, golly gee, how many years? Let's don't even go back down the memory trail, because I couldn't tell you how long ago. I met Mike Benke, and Mike is one of these guys that's like, I like new stuff, I like old stuff, but what if we could take old stuff and make it new? And so he dug into this software that he was responsible for creating way back when, and has made it new. And Mike, I'm gonna get you to join the show here. First of all, I want to make sure you got some audio, because I may have turned you off. Are you there?
Hello, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Can we hear him?
Can you hear me, Tom?
Let's don't tease him. Let's don't tease him.
1 2.
He's really talking. That's right.
All right.
They're saying in chat that I shouldn't be teaching classes, because I obviously have way too much trouble with my X keys. So anyway, well, give us in a nutshell what it was you did way back when, and what you did to make it in today. You've got like 23 seconds. No, tell us about
I work
Global Streams. Yes. And the Globe.
Yeah, so I work for this company called Global Streams. That was a company called Play before that. It goes back to the late 90s, and they developed this software-based switcher that was also Windows only. So Martin's got a good idea to stay with the Windows. Anyway, from a bunch of mistakes that the guys above me made, I ended up with the company. So I've taken it over, and I've dusted it off. And the thing about software code is it doesn't know how old it is, so you just got to add in stuff to it. It's kind of like restoring an old car, I guess. I'm putting a Coyote motor in a 65 Mustang. So
yes,
resto mod. I'm going to call it a resto mod.
Oh,
anyway, that's what I've been up to. So the first outing was this tool called Panamation, which we extracted another tool from. Basically, Panamation is a paint box. So that means you can draw and do all kinds of cool live graphics. It has animated capabilities. In fact, if this background in your show looks really familiar, actually, with the two windows and the scrolling text there. I think I've seen that before.
Really?
somewhere.
All
So
right.
yeah, I think I actually made that, Tom, in Panamation.
No way. Oh my
You know,
goodness.
yes, that's right. So thank you for remembering my hard work and all this blood, sweat, and tears I put into that graphic. But
Well,
anyway,
a friend gave that to me as a gift. I think he bought it from Pond Five or one of those places. And
no, no, no. I'm not talking about your
oh no,
blue background.
you're talking about
I'm
this
talking,
one right here, right now. Yes, you did
yeah,
this.
the two
That's right.
box.
Yes, yes.
Yeah,
Sorry, I thought
that's
you were talking
right.
about this behind me. No, that's right. Yes, you did.
No, no.
I love it.
So that's an example of what you can do with Panamation is that kind of animated stuff. But what I've discovered is that the real interest in the tool has been in the telestration stuff. So that's where my focus has been since putting the tool out, basically. Gamers, live sports people of all walks of life. From high school to pro to all of it. So anyway, that's what I've been focused on, and that's what I've been up to, for the last few years. So
Awesome.
was that over
Awesome.
23 seconds? I think it was. Yeah.
Yeah, just by 3 or 4 minutes, but that's all right. So I think it is so cool to be able to take something that obviously you guys spent tons and tons of time developing way back when, and dust it off,
Oh
tweak it,
man.
polish it, make it work in Windows 10, and repurpose it. And and here I'm thinking, you've got this crazy thing that you used to have. For folks, you'll have to go look up about everything it did, because I think it did like everything, and you've sliced out just a portion of it to make the paint box part, the Panamation, and of that slice, we'll make
Mm-hmm.
that slice bigger so that we can see. I'm interested in that much of the slice, which is the Telestrator part. Tell us about the Telestrator.
Yeah, so basically, we had a live paint box, and what that means is you're drawing brush strokes over live video. And the most common application for that is telestration. So, I mean, there's lots of fun stuff you can do with sprays, particle sprays, and all that good stuff. But, that's maybe hard to collect revenue on. Whereas, you can actually sell telestration as an additional feature to your production.
Right.
So that's where the focus has been, providing tools that not only solve problems for people, but maybe add another feather to their cap, right?
Right.
So the first thing that we noticed when we got Telestrator going was, controlling devices was equally as important as drawing over them. So we immediately recognized that Martin had implemented web API triggers, which allows us to pause and start video playback right from the Telestrator interface. Do a demo of it. How does that sound? Let me
That sounds
up
good.
for
It
you
sounds good.
here.
And if you're just joining us and you're wondering, we apologize. Mike is on Wi-Fi today, so his audio is going to get a little spotty here and there, and maybe dropping a few frames. And the Martin he refers to is
Mm-hmm.
Martin Sinclair, the developer of vMix, because vMix is like this, giant Swiss Army knife of live video production. And Mike has found all sorts of ways to get in and use some of the goodies in there. So yeah, show it off. Let's see. And I'm going to let you go full screen when we do
All
this.
right. Yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and take myself here full screen as well. And let's pull up a replay. So I just want to talk really quickly about what I have set up here, if that's okay.
Absolutely.
Let's cut me over here, and then we'll put that there. Okay, how's that look on your end? Does that look okay?
We see you, and you're great.
Okay, okay. Is that all you see, or do you see? Oh, that is all you see. Stand by.
That's all I see.
Uh, let's
There
figure
we go.
let's figure
Now
this out here.
we're seeing
All
your
right, well,
vMix desktop.
that'll be what it is.
Okay.
Yeah, good deal. All right, so just to take you on a quick tour, this is going to be kind of a vMix demo and Telestrator demo to talk about how this works together as a team.
Okay.
So I've got vMix here. I'm not sure that I have the latest version, but it does what I need it to do. So that's what I'm going to demo today. I've got the instant replay feature here, and this is kind of small. This
Right.
window, as you can tell, I've got it shrunk down. Of course, it's scalable, but for my purposes, I'm going to leave it right around there.
Okay.
And I've got a clip queued up here in instant replay. I've got myself, of course, as a source so that you can see me talking whenever I want to interject or whatever. Um, and I've got Globecaster Panamation NDI also as a source here. And this is set up as an overlay so that anytime I draw on the screen, you'll see it on this video here. Okay, that's the
And this
main
is
stuff.
running
So
on a
let's go
second
ahead and pull.
computer somewhere else, right, Mike?
Actually, this is all running on the same computer on
Get
this call
out.
with.
No way.
Yeah, that's right. I'm crazy like that. Yeah. So anyway, let's go ahead and pull up the Telestrator interface now, and we'll talk going on with it. Okay.
Okay. All right.
So, you're still viewing my screen here? Is that right?
We're seeing football.
Okay, good deal. So let me actually go back to the display capture then. Thank you for the. Oh, I see what's happening. Well, I'll give you a quick demo or tour of the interface, and then I'll start using the application.
Okay.
Okay, so this is the Telestrator. This is the Telestrator interface, and when you first launch it, you won't see any video at all in the workspace there, but you will see some of the tools that come standard. Basically just circles and squares and lines and all that good stuff.
Cool.
This is a folder on my This is just a folder on my hard drive full of content. Could be PNGs, anything with an alpha channel, or you can create your own custom tools using the Illustrator application as well. Okay. Moving down, we've got API controls, and these are the ones that I'm using currently for the demo, but it comes with up to 12 controls, and you set those using the API command strings in
Wait.
vMix.
Hold on a second. Hold on. So you've got control of vMix through those buttons right there? Right
Yep,
there.
sure do.
Oh,
Yep.
man.
So what I'll do is go ahead and queue up vMix video. Before I do that, I'll just talk about these. These are commonly used buttons: a clear to clear out any drawing that you've done in the workspace. Circle, draw circles around stuff. Lines, all that. These are my quick tools that I like, my favorites. In case I navigate away from this folder and I'm looking at something else, I can always come back to these.
All right.
Okay, but let's go ahead and pull in a video. So I'll click on my little cog here, and you can see some other stuff. This window is a little busy, but you may be able to see this on your show. I'm not sure. Your format that we support, the tool will go all the way up to 4K. It does have a NDI output on it, which is kind of how we're performing this magic with vMix using NDI. We are getting ready to support SDI as well. I've got the code. It just needs to be merged in with the rest of the source. And the guy that I have doing that has been a little ill lately, so he hadn't had a chance to do it. But that's coming very soon. So. But anyway, it does work with NDI, and you can see as I choose the input here, this is the output of vMix. So when I select that, it'll populate my window with whatever is coming out, program out from vMix, which
Got
in
it.
this case happens to be, what I'm sending you.
Awesome.
Okay. So
Okay.
Yeah, just by hitting this play last here, it'll go and queue up that clip, and that is directly sending that command to vMix, to the instant replay triggers. So you can see here as I jog shuttle back and forth, if I want to choose, a certain frame to highlight, do that, and then come in and say, well, this guy here is clearly getting ready to throw the football. And if I had to guess, he's going to throw it in that direction somewhere, just based on his stance. And anyway,
Don't quit your
this guy
day
here's
job
thinking the
when it
same.
comes to being a football
Oh,
announcer. It's not going to work. You just
yeah.
no,
No,
no.
look. This guy's thinking the same thing I am. He's going to throw that ball over here somewhere. And
Ah.
well, these guys here are all standing in the same spot. It seems to me like you'd want a ref in different areas, right? Like, why are they all in the same spot? Uh, so anyway, I digress. The clear button, it'll get it all queued and running again. So that kind of thing right there is really important when it comes to being able to actually talk about what you're looking at, right? That was just a little tiny slice of a amateur comedian trying to do football calling football games.
Love
So
it.
anyway,
Love it.
that's it. That's it in a nutshell. Works with touch screens. I made these buttons big enough so that a guy could get his finger on there and make it work. Same thing with the clear button. If you wanted to go as far as to provide some of these images to the coach or to the school website, you can actually grab these images whenever you hit the snap button. Let me just go ahead. I don't know if you can see this or not, but I've got the ability to save the snapped picture clean and also save the snap picture with all my markings on it.
Oh, that's cool.
So just by turning those things, on, here in my snap folder, you'll see whenever I hit snap, it automatically grabs that image and saves it off. And this one's saving it as a PNG. I could choose JPEG or bitmap, whatever you want. And anyway, that's the clean version. So now we're going to go ahead highlight this guy, number 13, who's doing a great job running down the field. And, we're going to go see what this is doing over here. That looks like a camera operator. Anyway, you can just kind of go crazy here and then hit clear, and it'll automatically save the there that I just did. I'll go ahead and load that up if you wanted to copy again. So you can see kind of how this could turn into like a teaching tool for maybe a coach to show kids, how things went. I don't know. To be honest with you, Tom, I don't really know much about football at all.
I'm
But
shocked,
I do like
shocked
to
and
watch it.
amazed.
Yeah, right. So anyway, here I am just jogging back a few frames or going forward a few frames. I got to hand it to this ref here. He's really keeping pace with everybody. If you'll see, he's full stride, made it all the way just about. He decides somewhere around the 15-yard line he's going to let do the rest. But anyway, that's Telestrator. What else can I tell you about it? It's got tons of, like I say, it ships with tons of different graphics, that you can use. It's actually got a little CG built into it too. So if you wanted to, type some stuff, you can. Just go to panamndi.com and download your demo version. Or Tom, you mentioned to me a really QR code that you could use as well to get to stuff, which is awesome. I'm kind of blown away by that.
Well, yeah.
So
If anybody's interested, the QR code there by your left elbow will take you to our website where you can purchase this software, or you can just go to easternshorebroadcasting.com. You guys can run it back on the replay and snag the QR code if you want to. or just go to our store and it's under Panamation. But Mike, all right, so you're running all that on one PC, but a lot of times in a sports production, people are running they're running the production, the camera switching on one PC. They might have a separate PC just for replay. And I could see what we're talking about now, the Panamation on a third PC, maybe like a tablet, something like this, that could be maybe Wi-Fi. So it's so your production PC is sending a Wi-Fi signal to the tablet so that you've got the screen so you can see what's going on the game, and then the tablet's running Panamation so the announcer can talk about it and doodle on it at the same time, and just the doodles get sent back over NDI or NDI over Wi-Fi to the main PC and become part of the broadcast. I think that is just the coolest thing. Let me rephrase it. I think that's the coolest thing for $195 you're going to be able to find out there. I mean, that's other software that does that I know is at least $500. I think you've underpriced it.
Yeah.
You need to charge more. Let's agree right now. We're just going to raise the price.
Okay. I tell you what, we'll double it for your show, and you can keep half down.
I tell you what, folks, we're going to double the price and give you a 50% discount today on this show. So it'll end up being,
no, you're right. Yeah. So in practice, what we've found that a second machine or third machine, as you say, you got a guy that's doing the switching, you've got a replay operator. And typically what happens is your analysts, your color analyst and your play-by-play guy will have a machine in front of them. And right. They're the ones that are actually responsible for the telestration.
Yep.
And we've found that it does work on tablets, but it needs to be a pretty beefy tablet in terms of the processor. In fact, we've found that there are some all-in-one PCs that have a touch screen. I think last one we built or we spec'd out was a 24-inch touch screen. It was an Acer, actually. And anyway, it was an all-in-one machine. And we used tactical Ethernet on that one. So it was not Wi-Fi, because in the stadium, the Wi-Fi, while the vendor had their own Wi-Fi, it just got to be, I think, a little too noisy, or there's too much other stuff going on to be reliable. Right. So they bought themselves a little wire spool and put 100 yards of tactical Ethernet on there, and just ran it to the announce booth or wherever the commentators were. Right. And it works like a charm. All in, I think it was around $2,500 or $3,000 with the really nice 24-inch all-in-one computer, the tactical net, the wheel to hold it on. I mean, it was a first-class thing, even a road case to put it all in. We could work together, Tom, together a nice little all-in-one like that.
Okay.
The software is not hard. The software is not the barrier to entry. I mean, if you didn't care about control and all that good stuff, which I personally do, but some folks might not care about doing the API controls. You can get into it for as little as $95.
Okay.
But really, that extra $100 is really worth it for that API control, because like I say, let's go back to the top capture again here. Being able to, as a color commentator, if maybe your replay operator went a little too far forward, want to go back a few frames to be able to commentator, pretty valuable. So that way he's got those controls at his fingertips too. And these don't. It's not a it's not mutually exclusive. One doesn't defeat the other. You can still control everything vMix as well. So hopefully that makes sense.
Got it. All right. Yeah. Sorry, your
Let's see
audio got a
here.
little wonky there, but I think we got the gist of it. A while back, I think you
Okay.
and I were talking that that this would run pretty well on the Microsoft Control Surface, um, and so
Hmm.
that's what I was thinking because that's nice. It's equipped with a pen, so it's going to be able to do the telestrator portion. And I picked this one up at I think Costco for $700 or $800. It was a pretty good deal, um, and it's a nice
Yeah.
piece of gear,
Yeah.
frankly.
The Surface. I say the Surface is probably the Microsoft Surface is the probably the top of the line tablet PC you can buy. It comes with a really nice processor and, is more expensive than most other Windows tablets out there.
Right.
But you get what you pay for.
Yeah.
And they really pay attention to the details. So yeah, that's what I actually demoed the product at NAB last year on was the Microsoft Surface.
There you go.
Was it last year or the year before?
I think it
Actually, I
was the
think it
year
was the year
before.
before, not this.
Yeah.
It was the
Yeah.
year before, yeah. So time flies when you get to be, my age, Tom.
Oh yeah,
So,
yeah. You're up there, man. Woo, golly gee.
oh
Patrick
man.
is saying in the chat that he'll be using this on his production this Friday night at his high school. So good
Cool.
job, Patrick. Patrick just bought
Right on. Well,
a
let me know.
an ambulance and that was being repurposed for an OB truck. So he's
Hmm.
going
They're
whole
good for
hog.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I think he
Yep. They
posted.
got the generator. I think they got generators in them already, don't they?
That I don't know, but it wouldn't surprise me that they didn't have some giant or second alternator up there in the front to provide extra power
Hmm.
for the ambulance in the
Yeah.
back. This is good. Well, Mike, if people are interested in finding out more about this, besides what's on my website, they can go
Hmm.
to your website, which is Panam NDI, right?
That's right.
PanamNDI.com. Yeah, there it is, floating across the screen. Um,
Yeah.
and you can get more information there. And I've seen some videos on YouTube about this, and we'll try to get those linked up um, in the comment section for this video today, so people can go see more about that. That's great. Um, and if you have a question about purchase, you can get it through us here at Eastern Shore Broadcasting, or you can get it directly from Mike. Um, and we will happy to answer any questions that you might have. Mike, what might be fun sometime if you've got time before this number two child gets here, if we could set up a little training demo, maybe one afternoon or one evening, and get some folks on board with that in a Zoom session or something like that, where we can do a little deeper dive into it. If anybody's interested in
I
that,
love it.
shoot me a note. Just go to easternshorebroadcasting.com. There's a comment form there, and let me know. And I'll post an inquiry in the Eastern Shore Broadcasting page on Facebook and the Streaming Idiots group on Facebook, and see if we've got enough folks to make a demo session like that, where people can ask questions that are better than just asking questions in a chat. So there we go. Chris is asking, what version are you up to, or do you have version numbers in this? And yeah, I think we've lost him. He's
Yeah, I
playing
do.
with his own
And
toys.
I do. Chris, we're at 35.6 right now. 35.27 is in the next year or two, and the key differences are going to be, we're going to be putting in some new Microsoft libraries that Windows 10 has put out. that we haven't implemented yet. We're going to go ahead and put in some different control methods for the snap and clear buttons. So just some little light housekeeping kind of stuff in the next version. But the SDI stuff will be coming soon. I promise. I know I've been saying that for longer than I want to be. It's taken me longer than I wanted to get it out, but the code is in the bank. We just gotta merge it into the software. So we're one step further today than we were maybe last time we talked about it. So
All right. All right. Well,
but
that's good. Now,
3526 is the latest. Yep.
okay. And if somebody were to buy 3526 today and was interested in the SDI when it comes out, is that a free upgrade?
I lost you for a second there, but I think your question was regarding,
Free stuff.
if they bought it today, would they have access? Yeah, right. So yes, I actually don't have a limit on, if you buy the product, you're going to get upgrades on it.
For life? Holy cow.
For life. I don't have any plans to really make it harder than that. You have plans to, as you mentioned earlier in the show, I plan to release more tools that were in our suite of tools.
Right. Right.
I have more classic cars in the stable that I haven't dusted them off yet.
Sure.
But I'm going to do that. And, with each of those releases, there will be an opportunity to buy that, separately. And then, whenever it's all done, maybe there'll be some kind of discount for all the tools, simultaneously, but that's
Cool.
way off. So don't wait, for that.
Don't wait. Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
So.
Well, man, this is good stuff. Thank you for taking time with me today to share with us, to the Streaming Idiot audience. It's a tough group, I'll tell you. Don't let the idiot's name fool you. These are not really idiots, but don't tell them that. They're pretty sharp folks.
I don't believe it.
Yeah.
I don't believe it. I think these guys are lifers and interested in this stuff, and I think it's great. I really appreciate the audience, number one, the opportunity to talk about this stuff, and just hang out with people who are interested in the same kind of stuff that I like. So
yeah, there you go.
Thank you, Tom.
Oh, it's my pleasure. My pleasure. And I know we're looking far ahead, but do you have plans to be at NAB in the spring, or is Mama not going to let you loose for that many hours?
Yeah, it's hard to say. I mean, let's say that yes, I will be there, but there may be. It's hard for me to say, honestly. I can't say no right now, though. How about that?
Okay.
There's not a definitive no.
There you go.
Let's hope so.
There you go. So there's a good possibility then, folks, that next year when you go to NAB, and you want to be making your plans to go to NAB for sure, that when you come to the Streaming Idiots meetup at NAB, that you can get to meet Mike, because he'll be there. Yeah, it'll be good stuff.
That's right.
All right, my friend.
That's right.
Thank you so much for your time. Yes,
no problem.
Jump
I
in.
I want to mention one. Yeah, I want to mention one other thing. If you don't see me at NAB, or I don't make it to IBC, you're always welcome to call, email me. Support@globalstreams.com is the most generic, and saves me from having to spell my name out for anyone who's watching this. But you're always welcome to shoot me an email, and we can start talking that way as well. So if I don't see you in the desert or in the Netherlands, we can always talk every other day of the week. So
there you go. And if you can't get a hold of him, you can get a hold of me, and I'll make sure it gets passed along to Mike. It would be my pleasure. Good deal.
Thank you. Yes, absolutely.
All right, Mike. Well, I want you to hang on just for a second for the post show, because sometimes people have questions, and we're going to direct those to the post show. But I want to thank you for coming on the show today, and we'll be right back with the post show, folks. Delighted to have Mike with us today. He's a really talented individual and a long, deep roots in this industry, and the kind of folks that, I can't believe he would hang out with me, but definitely kind of people you want to be associated with. So sit tight. We'll be back for the post show in just a second. Now that was fun. And we're back. All right.
Awesome.
All right. Very good. Well done, sir. Well done.
Yeah, likewise.
All on one PC, too.
Always a pleasure to hang out with you.
All right. Chris says, Chris must have missed the pre-show. Chris says, are you coming to visit Texas anytime soon? Well, we already know the answer to that. You're coming
I'll
in
be
November.
There. That's right. I'll be there in November. My dad and I are going to go see Ford versus Ferrari November 17th, I think it is, when that movie comes out. If you haven't seen the previews, it's about Carroll Shelby and Henry Ford and how they beat Enzo Ferrari at Le Mans in 66, 67, and 68.
Awesome. That'll be a good show. I like that kind of stuff.
So on my
bucket
my
list
dad are going to go see that.
To build a Cobra. Yeah.
Yeah.
Goodness gracious.
Very cool.
All right, folks. Anybody have a question for Mike at this point? All right. Mr. Live Producer says, I don't know how I could do it with a Telestrator, but in an MMA event, how interesting it would be to do that. I bet you could.
Mm-hmm.
I bet you could. I bet that magnifying feature, if you were on a replay and you want to see, did something really happen the way it looked, you can blow it up, magnify it, draw a circle around it, put an arrow pointing to it. Oh, yeah. Definitely.
Yeah, there's just so many applications for it. Anytime you've got a video that someone is talking about, there is an opportunity to use a telestrator, because the viewer may not be cued in on whatever they're talking about,
Right.
or there may be some nuance about the image itself that is not obvious unless it's pointed out, so that's really the value of the tool, is just being able to express your point or make your point.
Yep.
So
Patrick is mentioning that he said, just want to mention that your product is cheaper than NewTek's own product, and the only one that can control their switcher is the 3P1 version. The normal version has no API controls like yours does. So big plus there. And then the Elijah Ministries is asking, what are the portable power requirements for the suitcase system, the all-in-one system you mentioned? I would think not much power-wise.
Not much. Yeah, no, maybe 3 amps. It's just a PC. So whatever you use for, it would be less than what you would spend. It'd be about I'd say somewhere between a laptop and a desktop, minus the monitor and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. But I could get you specifics for the model that I was looking at, or what we ended up going with. I was actually talking about Jim Jacobs, during the show. The system he put together used that all-in-one machine with tactical Ethernet. I think it was Cat 6, and it turned out really nice. So
good deal. All right, Chris says he'll hit you up on Facebook, so maybe we can catch up.
Good deal.
Yep.
Yes.
Patrick says, I would consider using this in the business world as well. He said, better than a laser pointer. Well, yeah, there you go. Absolutely.
Yeah, I think that the SDI thing is going to be helpful in that. In the business world, at least the business world that I've been playing in, NDI is still not adopted in a way that you know get specced in via like your conferencing services type people who are used
Right.
to interfacing with HDMI and SDI and that kind of thing.
Right.
So
Right.
um, I agree, though. I agree. I think it is a valuable tool for that. So
Good. Good. I'd love to see a use case on that. That would be neat. I'm working
mhm.
with somebody on a conference center package right now. I wonder if that might fit in.
Hmm.
Glad you mentioned that. Good idea.
Yeah. Yep. Yep. Yeah. There's just I think the SDI thing will make it so that there's not that extra layer of having to do something with with the NDI stuff. If they've already got NDI planned into the signal path, then
Right.
it's a no-brainer.
Right.
Um, but otherwise, yeah, and it will work actually. I talked about API control with the vMix, but it also works with VLC. So if you're using VLC, which is a free player of media that supports NDI, the API controls will also work with that. And as you mentioned, the new tech products as well.
Alan Bunt is saying that he thinks the laser pointer thing would be great for his pastor to telestrate his own PowerPoints on the projection screen.
Mm-hmm.
How about that? Oh wow!
Yeah,
Now
yeah,
Al, if you do that, you
yeah.
gotta let me know about that. Al just bought a system for us
Mm-hmm.
for his church up in Wisconsin, and it was an amazing
Mm-hmm.
system. All sorts of cameras and other sorts of goodies. And if he does one more goodie like this, holy cow! Patrick says the SDI will need key and fill. Is that right?
Yeah, so we're gonna use we're gonna start with the Blackmagic line of cards. That's what we have the SDK stuff worked in for now. And as you know, Blackmagic has multiple different offerings in high density and multiple I/O cards. So um, yeah, you'll have to assign one output as the key and one output as the fill
Right.
for SDI.
There you go. All right.
Which is why NDI is so awesome, right? You don't have to worry
Yes.
about it.
Right. But it's a new
And you can
technology.
use standard.
It's strange.
Right,
It's
right.
different. It's not tested, at least not with the new people.
Hmm.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah, yeah. So it's interesting about the SRT stuff. I'm curious if that is a like an alternate to NDI, or if that is, you know,
It's a different creature.
somehow. Well,
It's going to be like continent to
yeah.
continent transmission. Um,
Okay.
yeah. It basically, from what I can
Cool.
gather from Martin, it would replace satellite transmissions. So instead of having
Hmm.
an expensive
Okay.
satellite to transport your video halfway across the world, or satellite service, you would use this over the public internet. Yeah,
Hmm.
it's a niche
Okay.
product, I think, but it could be a pretty big niche. But it's definitely a high end kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's not something that Eastern Shore Broadcasting that sponsors Streaming Idiots is liable to be using for the Streaming Idiot show. Although you never know, we could get that high tech.
Right.
Tommy wants to know how long is the
Yeah.
trial period, because he went to your website and he saw the trial.
Depends on when you download it. To be honest with you, I am not I'm not very sophisticated with that. I basically put a new installer up like once a month, and it has a 30-day in
Gotcha.
license or whatever you call it, 30-day trial period. So
Gotcha.
if you downloaded it today, for example, it would actually say I think like 12 days left on it or something because of when I
Okay.
updated it.
Okay.
But anyway, yeah, we're not that sophisticated in how the trial stuff works, or just in general,
Oh
I
well.
guess.
Well,
But
you can tell within an hour if something is what you want. You just
yeah,
You get a feeling right away.
I
Yeah.
agree. I agree. It depends on who you ask, but like, you get all kinds of answers in terms of what the ideal trial period should be. Um, so I would say if you want it longer, then download it at the beginning of the month. If you think you can make a quick decision, then download it the last day or two.
There you go.
You know, uh, Kind of thing.
You've got somebody volunteering to help you in the chat. Joe to Max says that he has some experience with the Blackmagic SDK. If you need any help, are you and Joe connected?
Joe and I have been talking, yeah, for a little while now.
Good.
He
Good.
actually we have history. He's aware of the old product line and all that good stuff. So he's a great guy, and I appreciate that, Joe. I may just take you up on it. I've been staring at the what is this Visual Studio Community 2019 now for longer than I care to admit, and still don't know what the hell I'm looking at. But I've got, you know, 47 projects that, are thousands of lines long that who knows, man. It takes a different kind of person to read code. I'll tell you that. I keep thinking I'm going to try to figure out how to do it, but it's like speaking, I don't know, Vulcan or something. I
A
don't
whole
know.
new
Like,
language. That's right. Yep.
it
Yep.
is. It is.
All right, we got some questions here about SRT. Chris wants to know will SRT help with bonding, for example, using Speedify, and Patrick is commenting that colleges could use SRT to replace very expensive point-to-point encoders. So yeah, Chris, I think we'll get some more information on SRT, the vMix implementation of it as we get closer to IBC. But in general, there's a lot of information out there on SRT. It's an open source project. I think it's something called the SRT Alliance that you can that has a site, and is it Heike Vision that seems to be sort of behind that. So there you go. So let's see if we have other questions. They seem to have scrolled through faster than I got to. My apologies if I missed your question. Oh, Tommy wanted to know how long is the chat. He says, is it 4 years or 5 years? And Tommy, I think it's like 30 days max. So you better get going, bud. Don't do it today. Wait until the first of the week next week, because you'll get a whole
Right.
month to play with it
Yeah.
at that point. Right.
Yeah, and I'll have the some of the newer Microsoft DLLs in there too. I got to put a build together probably today and get it up there. Um,
There
so
you go.
I
All right.
yeah.
High Vision. Thank you, Patrick. That's what it's called. High Vision. HAIVISION. And they seem to be a big player with the SRT protocol. So that's it. And Chris will be researching it more for sure. Yeah, I think that's the thing, Chris. I suspect it's going to be the kind of application for vMix that will be required for some, high-end do or die situations where you can't have a glitch, you can't have a hiccup. And basically the way Martin was explaining it is that, if your latency going point to point over, 6,000 miles is going to be 200 or 300 milliseconds, then the SRT, you're actually going to put in a fixed number for latency, and you're going to give it 600 or 700 or 800 milliseconds. And it's got some sort of error checking built into it. So if it loses information, it'll send a request for the lost information and get it back again. So it's not your basic it's not your basic streaming technology. It's got a little bit more meat behind it to and this is definitely a layman's explanation. So Joe, please feel free to correct me. But my understanding is if you need it, you need it. If you're wondering, do I need it? Then you probably don't need it. Yeah. Patrick says this will allow many of us to do at home, aka REMI broadcast. Well, Patrick, now you got to explain what AKA Remy is, unless Mike, do you know what that is? I don't know what that is. Um,
AKA Remy.
AKA
Also sounded out.
REMI. Yeah. An
Yeah, I don't know.
at-home, AKA Remy broadcast. So again, if you don't know what it is, you probably don't need to know it. Um,
Right.
keep it simple, at least when you're starting out. Starting out.
Hmm.
Well, Mike, I appreciate you spending so much time today. I've kept you far too long, and I've got a half a dozen. Believe it or not, I've got a half a dozen PCs waiting here for me to finish them before I go to IBC. So I got to get moving. But you're a prince for
Good
coming
deal.
on, and if there's something that you need that you think I can help with, of course you know how to get a hold of me. Um, and
Awesome.
if we can
No, I
rustle
really
up some
appreciate
folks that are interested.
yeah,
You're
absolutely,
welcome.
Tom. I appreciate the platform and wish you the best of luck. And same thing here. If there's anything I can do, let me know.
Okay.
You know, uh, that's about all I got. So have fun in Amsterdam.
Thank you. Thank you. I've looked forward
Yeah.
to seeing all my old friends for the first time. Yeah.
Yeah. Where are you staying?
Um, we are staying in some place. If you'd asked me yesterday or tomorrow, I could have told you, but today I can't. I just drawing a
Mhm.
complete blank. It's a
Well,
multi-story hotel in a industrial area on a canal
okay.
that supposedly has
I was
just been
gonna say
redone.
if you end up in the Leidseplane, uh, and you just so happen to go into the Hilton down there. Sorry, Marriott. It's a Marriott Leidseplane. On the seventh floor, if you walk down the hallway and you lift the last ceiling tile up and move it over, you'll find some paraphernalia up there from probably circa 2008. So, just stuff you can't take home. I'm just saying, little
Quick,
little
hide it in
gift
the
gift
ceiling.
basket. Hey, it worked. We used to stay at that hotel every year, and some of that stuff you don't want to have to buy again. I'm just saying.
That's great.
So
That's great.
yeah, yeah.
So you had it there the next year
Three
when you got
Sisters.
back. Got it.
Yeah, you
Yep.
got it. Yeah. And then we'd go straight to Three Sisters, which was the local bar there in the Leidseplane. Um, and have an ice cold Duvel. It's a triple. I don't know. It's a really good beer. So
Got it. All right.
yeah.
I'll keep my eye
All
out
right.
for the
Have a
for the
good one.
Marriott.
Thanks. Yeah. Yeah. Watch that Marriott. Yourself walking by it, you could shock the hell out of whoever you're with.
All right.
Hey
Very
guys,
good,
I'll
Mike.
be right back.
Th- Thanks much.
I'll talk to you later.
All right.
Take
Bye
care.
now.
Bye.
All right. Mike is a prince, and we really do appreciate him taking the time to come on the show today. Um, next week, um, next week there's a show on Wednesday afternoon. I don't recall off the top of my head what we've got going. And then the following week we'll be on the way to IBC, so we won't be having a show that week. But then the week after that, we will be in Amsterdam. It'll be the day after the show closes, so we'll be giving you a live report from Amsterdam about the IBC show. And I would invite all of the streaming idiots that are in Europe or close by to come by IBC to the vMix booth. We're right next to the bird dog booth, so you can kill two birds with one stone, or dogs with one stone, depending on which they are. And we'd love to see you. Yep, it's going to be a lot of fun. But I appreciate you taking time to make us a part of your day. And we will see you very, very soon. And we're going to let the stream just sort of run out here, and we'll catch you later. Thanks for watching.